I'm at a point in my life now to where I'm just trying to figure out how to go about relationships and, having conversations with people about things. And that's hard. I'll be so real. That's hard. That's hard for me from where I came from, how I grew up. And um, I heard, I forgot his name, that boy Tony or something like that, talking about something he saw in the Bible saying that, I think the verse reads, before you try to take the log out your friend's eye, you got to take the stick out of yours. And it's like that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Because in the past, I was the type of person who would, try to just always help people and, steer people in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that, kind of bit me in the ass a little bit. Because although I'm trying to, help these people, I'm not focusing on the main thing, which is helping myself, like learning and figuring things out for myself. And, really helping people in different ways as well, because a lot of the time when I would, do that, trying to help people, trying to, steer them in the right direction, take the stick out of their eye in, esoteric terms, it was basically, making them not like me, making them, critical of me and the things that I would say and my thoughts and ideas and things of that nature. And it did more harm than good. I saw a dude say something about like, if the people around you are feeling more judged than supported, then you got to look in the mirror. And when I saw that, like, it really hit me, because it's like I do need to look in the mirror a little bit more, because it's like, I genuinely have like good intentions, like in trying to, steer these people the right way and help them and things of that nature. But, it's not being received well. And, even though it may not be all my fault as to why it's being like received and looked at in that way, there's also, the part that I play in it, because, it always takes two for everything. You know what I mean? If I didn't say nothing, then it wouldn't have been an issue. And, that's just something that is, we as humans, I can't be the only one who, experienced this. You know what I mean? It's just like something that I'm learning. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm 23 years old. I got a wife, and I live with her, and I got big goals, and so maybe sometimes I just look at myself as older, or I just project myself into the future too much, to the point to where I see myself as being someone who is farther along than where I really am. And that's just me needing to humble myself. And with that, I can ease up on others. You know what I'm saying? But, it's just that acknowledgement of, actually wanting to help someone, and, the way that you go about it. And, that's just the hard part. That's what I'm dealing with right now. It's hard. I can't lie. It's hard. And, just something that we all go through at one point in time in our lives. Maybe you ain't ever gone through it yet, but there probably will be someone that'll come along that you have the ability to help. Like, that you can help this person, whether it be with a task at work, with money, with painting, like whatever it may be. You just know that you can provide value. But when they don't see that value, that's what causes the issue. That's what creates the discourse that happens between you two or three or however many. But you can't force nobody to see that value. Like, your value doesn't change no matter like where you go. It's just the appreciation does. And not to say that it's a bad thing that, oh, I tried to help these people and then they didn't appreciate it. Sometimes it's not even just like about the appreciation. It's more so about like, you know, you just need to focus on yourself and realizing that not everybody even wants help. I had a friend tell me that, you know, a lot of people find comfort in their demons. They find comfort in their suffering, and, you know, they just want to be left alone. They just want to be left alone in their, you know, their dysfunction, in their chaos, their low vibration, or however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to be left in that. They don't want to come out of it. They don't want nobody to help them out of it either. Like, they want to get up when they want to get up. And until then, they want to stay down. They want to stay in the mud. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should sit in the mud with you know, the people you love to a certain extent, I feel as if. And that could just be my opinion, but, you know, that's just the way I see it. You know, it's only so long you can sit in the mud with someone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't sit in the mud with you forever. I'm going to sit there with you, but if you refuse to get up, I got to get up, bro. It's that simple. I got to get up. I have no choice but to get up. Because if I don't get up, I can't keep walking. I can't keep going. I'm here with you. And I love you, but me getting up and walking away don't mean I don't love you. It just means I love myself. And, you know, walking that line between, you know, loving yourself and not hurting others, or, you know, looking down upon people who want to sit in that mud is where I'm not gonna say I'm stuck. I'm figuring out where I stand between those lines, or on that line, however you want to look at it. You know what I'm trying to say. But, you know, that's just something that, as a 23-year-old salesperson, I'm dealing with. And it kind of translates into the sales job too. You know, not knowing when to push the sale and when not to. You know what I'm saying? And I find that very interesting, because I just started doing sales, like, what is it? It's about to be August. So what's that? 8 months ago? Yeah, 8 months into sales. So yeah, not to go too sales crazy with y'all, but that's just, you know, the correlation I'm seeing between my life and my job. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but yeah, it's just crazy. I was just talking to my homie about how, like, you know, you can't have these conversations with everybody. And those conversations of, you know, trying to help somebody and, you know, tell them the hard truths and have those hard conversations, you know, you can't have those with everybody. You can't, because not everybody's going to look at that as something to give them value or to help them. They just want to be left alone. And, you know, that's just something I'm working on, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's the, you know, the fixer in me, you know what I'm saying? Just how I grew up, I guess. I got to, you know, some parts of me I still got to integrate and work on, heal, you know what I mean? But it's just funny how it correlates to my job and things of that nature. But, you know, that's just the interconnectedness of it all. And not everybody can see the interconnectedness of it all. And so I'm just blessed to be able to see it and share it. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's crazy. I just made a video about how, like, you gotta distance yourself and, you know, be willing to disagree and say no to certain people when it comes to, you know, what they value and how they perceive things. And it's just like, you know, I asked for a reflection from my barber, of all people, and he was telling me, like, you know, that's basically how he been moving for the past 10 years of his life. And, you know, it felt good for him to validate that, but it's kind of like I kind of was already standing on it before he even said that. But, you know, everybody can attest to, like, the fact that it always feels good when, you know, someone can, you know, validate your outlook or your worldview or something like that. You know what I mean? And that was just appreciative of him. So yeah. But really, you know, it's about walking that line between, you know, knowing when to leave people alone, like, and leaving them alone for the right reasons. Not, you know, getting mad at them or condemning them or looking down on them because they want to sit in that mud. It's just, you know, it ain't their time yet. Like, that boy Tony, he was saying that, like, you know, it took you 23 years to get right. It may take your brother 40, but you can't fault him for that. It took you 23 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I never thought about it like that. But, you know, at the same time, we were kids, and, you know, we're not supposed to have it figured out when we're born, but I get what he's saying, though. The point is just like, you got to let people figure it out. And they may not want help figuring it out, whether it be, you know, to their fault or to yours, or, you know, just to how they were raised and how they came up, what they learned, things of that nature. Or maybe they just, you know, they just don't understand. They just got that long of a way to go. So you just got to let them rock out. Come on, bro. There's a longer video, so, I mean, if you at this part, the whole video going to be on YouTube, and, you know, maybe a shorter part will be on IG, but, yeah, like, you just got to know when to just let people rock out, and that's what I'm learning right now. Can't force nobody to see your value, or to see value in your words, to see value in the things you know. And, you know, maybe they do see value in the things you know, but they don't appreciate it for whatever reason. And, you know, they just going with that. So it's just something that we gotta be aware of, something that I'm becoming aware of and learning through. So yeah, man, y'all have a good one. Y'all be smooth. Peace to the gods. And yeah, love.